Hey, welcome back to Twin Oaks Farm Poultry. We're still on day 18 of our flock of 302 Cornish rock cross meat chickens, and we're doing a little bonus clip here for you. I want to show you what's going on in the grower pen right now. So we did day 18 video, and I said we don't turn the bedding over in the grower pen, and so we're in here. Mr. Twin Oaks Farm and I are in here topping off the feed and refilling waters. You can see I've got to get the big waters back there filled up and replaced, but we filled up these single gallons and they're all around them, so they're going to drink those down. But anyway, so I was working on waters and I looked up and Mr. Twin Oaks Farm was turning the bedding over, and I'm thinking, oh geez, I was just in video 18 saying we don't do that. So anyway, we got talking about it, and my husband Jared he's got a good point. He feels like as they compact the bedding, as the broilers compact the bedding, we get a lot of unused bedding that didn't absorb much manure load. It gets trapped under the top layer that gets compacted. And we have talked to other poultry producers that acknowledge that this compacted bedding in a broiler house does put off heat that affects the ambient temperature for the birds. So they've pointed out to us, we've heard other poultry producers that work with larger flocks and more quantity of birds tell us that if you can turn this bedding 3 times, that it will stop producing heat. It'll stop letting off that heat. So right there, I mean, that was a good view of seeing the compaction on top, and then that's turned over. So you can see how it's compacted, and as he turns that over, you get a lot of bedding on the underside that was a trapped layer that really looks like it can absorb a lot more load. So my reasoning that I gave you in day 18 video, that we don't turn it, is because also as the birds compact it, they're helping to compact and trap pathogens in the underlayers that, if those pathogens are let loose in their environment, can become airborne in the form of like fungal or mold spores, and that can cause respiratory concerns not only for our chickens but also for the people that handle the chickens. So I actually personally have been affected by that, but it was in a much more confined space and with a lot of air movement, air blowing multiple directions. So all of life is basically a risk versus benefit management exercise, and in this case my husband felt that the risk was minimal of exposing pathogens, and the benefit of utilizing more of this bedding was significant. So he does have a legitimate point, a good point. Y'all can see it actually on the video. We see compaction on top, and when he uses that pitchfork shovel to get under that compacted layer like that and turn it like that, you get down into bedding that really has not had to absorb a heavy manure load, and that's basically like almost new bedding. So it is going to help get a lot more economics and use out of the bedding that we have put down. So there's a flip side look at that. Even though I said we're not gonna flip the bedding, we're not gonna turn it, there's what you get when you are turning it. I do agree with my husband that it's probably a minimal risk as far as pathogen exposure, because we do have a open air situation here where we can open up the building. There's good ventilation, really good ventilation, and as a bonus, you can see that when we fight that compaction by aerating the floor, it gives the birds an added level of comfort. They really enjoy bedding that is new, that feels new to them, that is loose, that they can nestle down into, just like that one right there. So as we were doing this, and I am going to get those waters filled and replaced in here, and we're going to make sure all the waters are topped off in here. But as I was doing this and my husband was turning the bedding, and he said, this is a good opportunity if you want to show the viewers, you know, what that's like when you turn the bedding. Here's an opportunity to do it. And like I said, there is there is that point to it that if you can have an effective and safe way to turn your bedding and aerate it, we have heard other poultry producers say, basically, if we can turn this bedding about 3 times, we can cease the heat production coming off of it. So that's also a plus, because when we're trying to have a little bit of moderation in temperature and keep the birds at their temperature preference level, it's good if we're not fighting heat coming off of the floor as well. So these birds at 18 days old, they do want to be in the low 80s temperature wise, and then as we get out to about day 22, they're going to want to be in the high 70s. So temperatures outdoors are in that moderate range for them, and this flock is very comfortable. So thanks for joining us. That was a little bonus clip and a couple different perspectives there on a management practice with bedding. So we just use pine shavings, prepared pine shavings that you can get at any kind of farm supply retailer or feed mill in your area. So that's what we put down in here. We've used about 10 bags total in 18 days with just over 300 birds in our flock. And so we'll continue to put bedding down, but him turning it will extend the use of this considerably. So thanks so much, y'all. Have a great weekend. God bless you.